Made all over the world, enjoyed by millions, but still mysterious to many.
Including us.
Oh, my God.
I'm Matthew Goode.
And I'm Matthew Rhys. You might be wondering what two actors are doing on a show about wine.
I've always loved that sound. Glass of giggles. And then maybe a cleansing ale.
Well, we're going to be looking behind the labels on all kinds of bottles.
Is there a dry finish on it?
Yeah, it is dry.
I quite like
Well,
it.
okay.
So do I.
Oh,
What? From the wine we enjoy every day with our dinner to the really, really fine stuff.
This is well over £100.
I'm all right.
We'll be exploring stories that not only tell us about wine, but the world we live in today.
It's about weather, soil, grapes, and people.
We're going to show you there's a wine out there for everyone, and trying something different is the best way to understand more about this marvelous drink.
Knock me down with a feather.
Indian rosé.
Wow.
But we're not doing it alone. Our team of wine experts has traveled to 11 countries on 5 continents to bring back the best and most interesting wines.
I'm not sure if this is sort of genius or just bizarre.
Here, to our villa, high in the Italian hills.
Where have you been, Maestro?
I've been to Chile. It was very interesting. We've got 2 fascinating wines.
And we're getting out and about ourselves.
This isn't right.
It is right. It's just you haven't worked it. You don't speak Italian.
Make her speak English.
We're taking a trip across Italy, choosing wines that reflect the spirit of this most beautiful country.
Made your choice?
I've made my choice, but I'm not going anywhere for a bit. I'm going to just luxuriate in it for a second.
In this episode, Joe Fattorini heads to Hong Kong to get inside the most exciting wine market in the world.
Guy, I wonder if I could borrow your finger if you'd let us in over here.
This is very James Bond.
Barreling back through her life,
Oh my gosh!
Amelia Singer gets a little surprise in Australia's most historic cellar.
Yorkshire chef Frances Atkins says something some of us can definitely relate to.
Wine means, gosh, I've had a hard day and I really need a drink.
As she tells us what she cooks to go with her favourite bottle.
And Matthew and I head to Trentino to find out how one iconic winemaker can tell if her wine is any good.
Best sign for the quality of the wine is that the bottle is empty.
Yes. Always.
So give your glass a good swirl and take a big old sniff.
Because it's time to drink in another brilliantly balanced episode of The Wine Show.
What sport would you like to see go hand in hand with heavy wine drinking?
Rugby. And at half-time, you'd pair whatever country you're playing with a wine.
That's lovely. Argentina?
Oh,
Malbec. Lovely.
Here he is, our Dr. Livingston of wine. Where have you been this time?
What have you been up to?
I'm just back from Hong Kong.
2 very different languages on
It
those
says
bottles.
Inner Mongolia on that bottle.
It does say Inner Mongolia. All will become clear, don't worry. You are maybe wondering, why is it that I go to Hong Kong where they surely don't make any wine?
Surely.
And they don't make any wine. But Hong Kong is the sort of 4th leg in the fine wine market. Vast percentage is sold in Hong Kong, not just for people in Hong Kong and China, but for around the world.
What's the third leg?
New York and London and France.
Oh, I see. Sorry, thought we were talking about animals. Anyway, before we pop these corks, let's see what Joe got up to in an island surrounded by junk.
There's an island that allegedly has more billionaires per square mile than anywhere else on the planet. And it's not Manhattan, it's former British colony Hong Kong.
People in Hong Kong like nothing more than talking about big numbers. That might be the billions that are traded here on the stock market every day, or that a 300 square foot apartment costs $3 million. But there is another brilliant barometer of success on this former British colony, and that's wine. I don't just mean any wine, I mean expensive wine. Really expensive wine.
There has long been an appetite for wine in Asia, but in 2010, the market exploded. That huge market hike was down to one genius move from the Hong Kong government. They removed all tax from wine in 2008, encouraging a huge influx of Chinese buyers. And with that, Hong Kong became the wine centre of Asia. But not just any wine. It has to be expensive, and it definitely has to be red. The first ever Asian Master of Wine is the person best placed to explain why, and that's Jeannie Cho Lee. To discuss these pinnacles of the wine world, I've come to the Ozone Bar at the Ritz-Carlton to meet her.
What has been the big shift that you've seen in the top end of the wine market in Hong Kong?
Well, there was a real Bordeaux mania in China 5 years ago, and especially focusing on Lafite. That's really switched now to top-end Burgundy, and the wine that everyone's looking at is Domaine de la Romanée-Conti.
And what is it about Domaine de la Romanée-Conti that they really love?
I think it's the rarity. It's limited in quantity, that it's a little bit more sophisticated and harder to know. And they're saying, well, there's plenty of Bordeaux, whereas we want something special and rare. And if we are going to have great wine, why not the very best and the most expensive?
And this Chinese quest for the very best led them to the gates of the Domaine de la Romanée-Conti. A hugely respected winemaker, DRC in Burgundy owns some of the very best vineyards, the price tag being justified by the very good, but very limited quantity. The Chinese are prolific collectors, and the culture here is to share wine, not treat it as an investment, and they do so in very exclusive environments. I've heard about a World War II bunker buried deep into the hills of Hong Kong, which is now a super swanky wine club. This actual bunker was where the last British soldiers fought before surrendering Hong Kong to the Japanese in 1941. On hand to guide me through the ins and outs of what goes on here is Gregory Deeb.
These, obviously, the original bunker doors. We've had to build them in, but absolutely spectacular. You look at the metalwork over here, it's just...
There's no way anything's going to come through. These are big, proper steel doors.
And some of them actually had bullet holes in them, so you could see the little indentations.
This former bunker is run by Crown Cellars. They host essentially the world's most expensive BYO. Collectors who keep their wines here invite their friends for dinner and drink their way through their collections, no matter how much the wine is worth.
Now, Joe, I can't take you through here, unfortunately, because my fingerprint doesn't work. I don't have access. It's limited to just 3 people. And Guy, I wonder if I could borrow your finger if you'd let us in over here.
This is very James Bond.
It's very James Bond in the sense of, ultimately the responsibilities are very, very practical. So
Guy gets the green light.
Guy gets the green light, but also if something's missing,
Thank you very much,
Guy gets the finger chopped off. So it's... So this is a sort of a typical selection of what people would have with them, that at our dinner parties, when they run out of wines, they'll say, oh, chaps, would you like something from the right bank, the left bank, something that's Burgundy, Bordeaux, what have you?
This is the first time I've ever heard something like this described as a typical selection, though. In 1959 Haut-Brion.
Brilliant, yes.
And if we don't want to have a 59 Haut-Brion, then we can
always go
59 from Pomerol. Fairly quickly, you could rack up some big numbers that you've drunk through in a night.
I always hesitate to bring in a figure because it's in many ways it's slightly obscene if you just look at the figure itself. But we've had evenings easily at £100,000 to £200,000 in one night.
It's not hard to spend those sorts of figures when you see the collections that are housed deep into the Crown Cellar bunker. And of course, Domaine de la Romanée-Conti is everywhere. But where do these wealthy Chinese go to add to their collections?
Well, I've come to a very noisy back street in Hong Kong, but I can't tell you exactly where it is. I can't tell you quite where it is that I'm going, because we're going to see something very special. So special, in fact, that in a minute we'll have to turn the camera off and go through several stages of security.
Wealthy Chinese collectors buy at auction, and this top-secret bonded warehouse contains wines from all over the world, destined for Christie's Hong Kong. They might be in nice boxes here, but Christie's has to prove provenance to buyers prepared to pay through the nose. And that responsibility lies with Christie's head of wine for China, Simon Tam.
There are a number of things that we have to look for. Firstly, we ask the consigners for proof of purchase. for anything old like that. We open the cases to check each bottle individually. And we have very strict standards. We look and see the label condition. If it is extremely pristine, what's wrong with it?
Proving the provenance of old wines can be problematic.
We think that this is a 61 Cheval Blanc. There's not much you can get out of that except for the crest and the Negociant label from Cruise. I think there are a couple of things that we really need to try and identify and nail down. And this is something that we use, and we can't leave home without this, actually. Okay. This is our special high-power torch. We look at the punt of the bottle.
So that's the sort of indentation at the bottom.
That's right. And you can see that there's very little sediment, and what's there is extremely fine. If it is a chunky, hard, large piece of sediment, then the likelihood is that it probably did not come from a cool year.
What would it, a hot year would be something like?
82, 2003, 55.
So if it was a 55, so it's also a very old bottle of wine, I would expect more big bits in it.
Big chunky sediments, because the sun thickens the grape skin, and of course all the colours in there like to hang together.
Yeah.
Some bottles that come through this bonded warehouse aren't quite what they seem. Checking the cork is another way of verifying the wine.
There we are, cedar branding.
1964. 64, yeah.
So it's not 61. I thought it was 61. Now it's 64.
So bizarrely, you cutting that open has actually made that more valuable because you absolutely know what it is.
Exactly.
Once the wines are verified, they go under the hammer at one of Hong Kong's quarterly fine wine auctions. Domenda La Romani Conti is the one to watch, and I've been invited along. I won't be raising my paddle here, though. This is one of the premier auctions in the wine world.
Looking through this catalogue, there's loads of these lots of DRC, Domenda La Romani Conti, are down here. Jeannie Cho Lee said it, that this is the new obsession for all the buyers here. And those are the lots everyone's going to look at. The bottle of 1965 DRC, how much is that going to go for? That's where the excitement is. Those will be the lots I'll be looking out for most closely.
And on to lot 5026, the Romani Conti here, 2 bottles, and I can go in here at... I can go in at 100,000 here, 110, 120, 130. I have 130,000 bid.
Suddenly the runs come to life, and there's bids coming in from all over the place. There are 2 or 3 very active tables.
130,000, ahead of you, Austin. 130, we're selling. 140 in the front, at 140 now. At 140, all done. 140,000. Thank you, sir. Yours.
That is a surprise. This lot potentially was going to go for $250,000, and it's gone for 140,000. 2 bottles of wine. It's an inordinately large amount of money, but it's surprising that it's gone so far below the estimate.
There may have been a poorer showing than expected by the DRC today, but wine in China is always going to be volatile, red and intriguing.
This is not the whole story, though. Hong Kong's written the opening chapter, but the tale of wine in Asia has a long way to run.
Well, I've been dumbfounded by the sheer staggering prices of those wines.
Unbelievable.
$100 million a year traded through the main auction houses in Hong Kong in fine wine, and mostly from France. And this is the sort of thing that is traded through the Hong Kong fine wine market.
Interesting colour, Mr. Rhys.
This is a Rhone. This is René Restang's Côte Rôtie La Landon. This is £150 or so. In the world of fine wine, this is a really good value.
Very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yes, a snip.
And you're looking for something exotic, but I don't want to lead you down a garden path.
Leather at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it just opens up like a
You are
portcullis.
Absolutely right in finding leather and almost a slightly horsey, stably note, but in a beautiful way.
As much as I don't want to say goodbye to Côte Rôtie.
No,
Let's
right.
have some answer.
Onward to Inner Mongolia. I've actually been to Mongolia, where I had to drink one of the most testing liquids of my life. Arak, mare's milk, which they ferment.
Did you keep it down?
I did. It was that sort of Indiana Jones moment.
You know, I couldn't go all the way to Hong Kong and not think, well, rather than just importing wines, are people making them themselves in mainland China? And they absolutely are. This is a Cabernet Garnished This is a variant on Cabernet Sauvignon. And you certainly, when you have a smell, it has that Cabernet Sauvignon character. Mr. Goode?
It does smell very milky, though. It's like, I think that, I don't know if you said something about yak milk. Very creamy. Can I say creamy?
You just did.
Yeah, I just did. OK, let's move on from that.
If you taste it, say it. Because you're absolutely right. Somebody wanted to go and find about wines from China and the very different world of fine wines at auction, wines like this Rennie Rastang, Côte Rôtie. There is a great place they can go and find out. It's all on our website.
Joe, thank you very much. Cheers. Still to come.
Have either of you ever done this?
Yes.
Why?
Because we're told to do it.
Joe Fattorini busts a very old myth and tells us how to keep the fizz in our bubbly.
And we head to the Italian Dolomites.
We're in the sort of perfect place where landscape meets fine.
To get truly high on wine. Where there's wine, there's a gadget. Whether it's cooling, pouring, or opening, someone has tried to find a way to give us the best glass of wine possible.
But which gadgets are great and which are good for nothing?
It's that time again when it feels like Christmas and you're the Santa of wine.
And it's a great combination because it's gadgets and sparkling wine.
And it looks like you might be about to debunk a myth.
Well, have either of you done this? Popped a teaspoon into a bottle of fizz to keep it fizzy?
Yes.
Why?
Because we're told to do it. Some urban myth begins and we uphold a tradition.
Exactly.
Lemming like you do exactly the same and just pop a teaspoon in a bottle of sparkling wine because...
Is it meant to keep the fizz?
It's meant to. But...
Yeah.
Should we debunk a myth?
Let's.
Yes, do it now.
Doesn't make any difference at all.
Oh, I didn't think it would.
It doesn't matter whether it's a silver teaspoon or a fine Georgian piece like this. It makes no difference. Extensive experiments. We've done it here.
Yes.
Shall I give you a... You can both have a bit of a look.
Yeah, time for a drop.
So this is our teaspoon bottle.
Yummy. Oh, look at that, plenty fizz.
A bit of fizz.
And look at that.
The same amount of fizz.
Same amount of fizz. So it makes no difference.
No difference.
You can have a swirl around.
Yeah, I should.
So people have done this for years and years with absolutely no reason. There are only two things we can do to preserve the bubbles in a bottle of champagne.
Drink it as quickly as possible, preserve them in our stomachs.
That's a very good way of doing it. One is to put a stopper in, but we'll come back to that. Whatever you do, keep it in the fridge.
Yes, that makes sense.
Good start.
Yeah.
Because the bubbles stay in solution much more the colder you keep a bottle of wine. So keep it as cold as you can. Unusual wine fact of the day: a bubble on the top of a champagne, on top of champagne, it bursts open at roughly the same speed as Usain Bolt runs 100 meters. About 10 meters a second. What we have here, this is a clever variation on the stopper. I mean, really, all you need to do is put a stopper in, put it in the fridge, and it keeps it. This fella here...
What does he do?
L'Atelier du Vin stopper. Can you see there's a sort of red and white thing? As soon as those disappear, that's it, it's gone flat.
Oh, really?
It's totally done. There we go.
Yeah, he's got some pressure, huh?
So there, you see, it's dropped completely flat there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a little glass of this.
How long has this been open?
That
18
seems, do you know what?
years.
That's funny, that seems to have already gone flat. Good. Give me
we have a try.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you are drinking champagne, the most important thing, or any sparkling wine, the most important thing to remember about having the bubbles is when you wash your glasses, don't wash them with rinse-aid in a machine.
Oh. No.
Rinse-aid covers the inside of a glass with a fine film, a sort of greasy film, if you like, and it means it's perfectly smooth. There's nothing for the bubbles to hold on to. The bubbles need tiny little sort of grains on the inside.
Hang on to.
To hang on to.
Oh,
You're
really?
absolutely right.
Oh, like a cliff. Let's have some more. Get it?
That's quite nice.
If somebody had a myth, or a thing they think might be a myth, and they wanted to ask us about it, why don't they send us a tweet at Wine Show TV, and we will go and say, yes, we think that is a myth, no, we don't, or we'll go away and find out.
I've had a number of mythed opportunities.
Keep drinking. Gadgets down. Now, food and wine. When we're thinking about what to drink, we generally choose our wine after we've decided what we're going to eat. But here on The Wine Show, we like to mix it up. We're asking some of the world's greatest chefs to reverse the idea. First, they're picking their favorite wine. Then, they're planning a dish to match it. I'm curious to know what Matthew and Joe would like to eat with the wine chosen by today's chef. Our next guest chef, this time around, will warm the cockles of your heart geographically, the location of their restaurant, your cold northern heart. But they've chosen, brilliantly, a white Burgundy, a Puy Frisé,
We say with a few years on it.
Yes.
We're trying a 2009.
Yes, so Chardonnay grapes, and therefore I would imagine some sort of straw-like quality to the nose. I could be wrong.
Oh, that is delicious.
It's a beaut, actually.
There are interesting.
You're never going to guess.
aromas.
You're never going to guess this. I'm telling you now. But keep going.
One of the great challenges. This is such a brilliantly versatile wine to go and match massive dishes, because we could go in a seafood direction, we could go in a poultry direction, guinea fowl, all sorts of things.
Yes.
It's got nutty characters. There's a bit of oak aging there, so it has a little bit of spice carrying it.
Mr. Rhys, does she cook something that's not usually eaten?
Well, I wouldn't say not usually eaten, but not necessarily usually paired. And
with white wine?
I'll give you a hint. There is some seafood in it, but there is also some other ingredients. Two components. You've got fish and you have a fruit. And there are two other little things. Yes, it's remarkable.
Fish and fruit. Well, it's a perfect pairing for white wine.
To more clearly explain what they created, we have the very, very talented and wonderful, from the York Arms, Harrogate, North Yorkshire, Frances Atkins.
I'm Frances Atkins of the York Arms. The York Arms is about Yorkshire, it's about great food, good wine, hopefully a good experience, a happy place to be. I'm a Yorkshire girl. I'm using Yorkshire produce. British food produce is brilliant. I was very fortunate in the fact that this field that we've developed and made into a garden had been untouched since the war and had just grown potatoes here, so it was naturally organic. It was just a gift. Oh, lovely. Wine means, gosh, I've had a hard day and I really need a drink. Wine's very important in our restaurant. The flavours in your mouth can be absolutely ruined by then drinking the wrong things with the food. We taste all our wines, and if I don't like them, we don't have them on the menu, I'm afraid. A bit rough. I've chosen this Chateau Fouissé. It has these beautiful minerally flavours to it. The vines are grown on limestone soil, which reminds me of the Dales. The dish I've chosen is English lobster with cabbage and strawberry cake and lacquered veal. I start by boiling my lobster, splitting and cracking it, making a little coral butter. This black stuff is the coral. This is lovely. My cabbage is cooking in the oven till it's nice and black on the outside. This is what we want here, which is the heart. And you might think, oh, gosh, that's horrible, but the taste is phenomenal. Shred it, mix it up with some Yorkshire goat's curd, a few sourdough crumbs, lots of chopped herbs. Pop it back in the oven again for 20 minutes. And then you've got the sweetness of the strawberries, the crunchiness of the cabbage, and this lovely flavour of lobster. And it looks quite good on the plate. This dish I love. One might say, oh, over the top, mad, but the flavours are exceptional together. Magic in my mouth. Brilliant. I feel very happy when I'm producing and plating up and cooking food. Makes me want to sing.
Still to come, we may call it port, but down under it's known as tawny, as Amelia Singer finds out in the Barossa.
And these are going to be my favourite wines of the series.
I'd agree.
Rhys and I meet Elisabetta Foradori, one of Italy's greatest winemakers.
Soil, the grape, and the person have to marry in order to make a great wine. She times it by 1,000,000.
Italy, a place where food and wine dominate life like no other nation on earth.
But in a country with 350 wine varieties and even more type of grape, just where did two novices start?
We're looking to our mentor, OB Wine Kenobi, Joe Fattorini, for help.
He's creating a trip across Italy so we can learn a little about this country's best wines.
But sending us to the nearest bottle shop is just not his style.
Yes, this is certainly more than just a jaunt through the Italian countryside.
This is the wine showcase. It has 9 wines. You need to find 3 more wines that represent the spirit of Italy. Geographically, Italy is a hugely diverse country, from the volcanic soils in Sicily, rolling Tuscan hills, up to the Alps. I want you to find a wine that captures that relationship between land and wine and the way that people are making wine today. Something unique.
Crikey, that's going to be difficult. That's a massive challenge.
I'm not going to tell you where to go. I want you to find it.
All right.
Right.
All right, that's a challenge. Hey, you know what? Good.
Good.
And I quite want you to get on with it.
We will.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be quite a task, Rhys. Italy produces wine everywhere, from as far south as it's possible to go to its most northern borders.
So which way should we go?
I think everyone will expect us to head south, Campania, maybe even Sicily. But I think we should head north to Trentino, where I've heard there is some really interesting winemaking.
When you said north, you really meant north. I can almost see Cardiff from here.
Down now.
Oh, God.
I'd only seen the Dolomites in a book.
Yeah,
But here we are.
And surrounded by vines. Surrounded.
Absolutely chock-a-block. Here we are.
I don't love heights, but that was very nice.
We made it. That is incredible.
Serious wow factor. I've never seen so many vineyards snaking away into the distance on this beautiful river valley.
Well, it sort of makes sense when you see the landscape. Surely it's going to have an enormous effect on the vine. Well, we're in the sort of perfect place for the challenge, really, where landscape meets vine.
Trentino is a fascinating wine-producing region. The plain is fed by water from the river Noci, which rises in the Dolomites. It's this rich, alluvial soil that gives the wine here its unique character.
What Joe really wants us to do, I think, is find a wine that speaks of its terroir. Terroir is the characteristic taste and flavor imparted to a wine by the environment in which it's produced.
Crumbs, Chief. I hope you read that in a book.
Indeed, I did. And in the same book, I read that there's one person we need to go and meet here, and she's called Elisabetta Foradori. She inherited the family vineyard and has devoted her life to winemaking. There's one grape in particular, Teraldigo, that she's particularly famous for cultivating. It's an icon for the region's wine industry.
And as a grape that's indigenous to this valley, that sounds like a perfect place to look for a wine to satisfy Joe's brief.
Extremely beautiful spot, isn't it? My goodness. Absolutely extraordinary.
Hello.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, sono Elisabetta, benvenuto.
Piacere.
Ciao Matthew.
Ciao.
Elisabetta.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Grazie.
Mwah.
Hi.
Matthew. And 2 Matthews.
2 Matthews?
Yeah, very
One
easy.
Elisabetta?
Hey, perfect.
One Teroldego, one Nosiola. Let's go to the vineyard.
Let's go to the
Absolutely.
vineyards. Take us to
Come
your
on.
grapes.
Yeah, to the Teroldego garden.
Elisabetta makes all her wine following biodynamic principles.
Which is something I'm looking forward to finding out about.
So, Elisabetta, your grandfather bought this farm?
My grandfather, yes. And my father was the first, which in the 50s started to bottle this variety, mainly Teroldego. And my first vintage was mainly, 84.
What does being biodynamic mean?
Biodynamic is mainly, okay, without using chemical, of course.
Yeah.
Biodynamic is connecting you as person, a human being, with the plant, with the cosmos, and that is bringing you in a different level of, I would say, feeling. And it's very easy. It's nothing. It's something very instinctive. It's not something that you have to the color, smelling like fruity banana or apple. This is basically nothing to do with wine. It's much more simple.
So what is the input from you?
I try to respect in what I can do in my land. That means planting a lot of different trees, improving the life of the soil, but also the herbs.
Rather than chemical fertilizer, Elisabetta's vines are given an infusion made from herbs found in the surrounding mountains. Everything is interconnected, from plants to wildlife. She's focused on creating a virtuous circle of life that she believes finds its way to the vine.
If you trust your grape, because you know your grape is alive, then what's happening in the cellar is a magical world of transformation in the life of this fruit into wine.
Not many people make wine the way Elisabetta does. There are currently only 41 certified biodynamic vineyards in Italy. But this isn't the only unusual thing about Foradori.
The wine is all aged in clay amphorae, not a barrel in sight.
So this is already starkly different to anything we've seen because of the way that you love to use clay.
Your terracotta army.
And what an army it is. Elisabetta has 160 clay amphorae that she uses to age her wine. Another way it stays in contact with the earth for as long as possible.
The clay stays active, it works. It's almost thirsty, it drinks itself.
Surface, the exchange with the air is enormous because the clay has like millions of small particelle, small pieces together.
The amount of time that a grape's skin is in contact with wine is fundamental to how the finished product will taste.
In this clay pot, the wine and the skin, they can stay together for a long time, 9 months, 10 months, which is extraordinarily long. This is a process of, it's like an exchange of information also between skin and wine. And what is coming out is a pure message of the terroir. What is this grape have to say is going directly into the wine.
Elisabetta has said the magic word, terroir.
I think we're in for something special.
So first, perhaps Nosiola.
This is the white.
This is the white. This is the old variety from Trentino. And this is a white wine, but in fact, it's like a red wine. That means it's long skin contact, 9 months. This is 2013, but better to drink after 5, 6, 7 years, even 10.
So you can lay it down in a cellar for a while. It doesn't need to be drunk too quickly. There's some complex flavors in there, but it's very subtle. It's really beautiful.
It's less than 12 alcohol, this wine.
Well, you don't get that initial oof.
It's really well balanced.
So you can smell.
You know, also the mountain, the rocks, you have to feel this beauty and this elegance.
Absolutely delicious.
That is incredibly good.
You know, going into the red, I work with one old variety, which is Teroldego.
Yeah.
I think you will like it.
There you go, Rhys.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I know you're not always about the colour, but that is an amazing colour.
It's It's brilliant.
Yeah. Full on. Whoa, crikey, O'Reilly. Nice, but quite light. That's beautiful.
That really is beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's complex again, isn't it? It would go very well with food. And yet I could sit down and tuck into bottles of that with friends and family. And
Best sign for the quality of the wine is that the bottle is empty.
Of course.
Yes.
Always.
Very quickly.
Yes.
The last one. Granato is the name of the wine. This is same variety, but old vineyard. So you have here 80 years old wine, and this is at 11.
I'm getting rid of that. It's just annoying me. The spittoon, never.
Yeah, it's
never.
probably.
Look at that.
Deep as the Pacific. I thought it was going to be much heavier, but it's
Same here because of the colour, I think.
It seems heavier, but it's not.
Oh, that's incredibly good.
Oh, that's really nice. We might just stay here a little longer and polish a little more of that off.
You're welcome anytime.
Any of these wines would fulfill the brief, in my humble opinion, but sadly, we can only take back one each.
I wasn't quite expecting when we were tasked with finding a wine that coupled or married the perfect relationship between landscape and grape.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite expecting the sort of epiphany that I've had today.
No, I wasn't, and it's not just fallen into our laps, it's slapped us around the face. And what this incredible woman is doing is, I don't know, extraordinary. I think the wine speaks for itself, that this biodynamics works. These are going to be my favourite wines of the series.
I'd agree. Also, along the trip, what I've found is that winemakers kind of say the soil and the sun and the grape and the person have to marry in order to make a great wine. She takes that and times it by 1,000,000.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, I think, from Elisabetta is that we've moved so far away from our instincts. But it's not about a vocabulary of how well you can describe a wine, it's about a feeling. And at the moment, I feel great.
Cheers.
This was a tough challenge, wasn't it?
They've all been pretty hard.
To a couple of idiots like us.
Oh, you're doing very well. So what have you found this time?
I think we found some wines that are the perfect marriage of environment muscling its way into a bottle of wine.
And chosen from both from the Foradori estate. We've got a fantastic, they're sort of Rolls Royce red and a cheeky white.
You really fell for this place, didn't you?
Yes, and her.
He said it!
No, we fell for her incredible passion and also the taste of the wine and the beauty of the area we were in.
Shall I try some?
Yes.
I had to try the white first.
God, I'm jealous.
Fontana Santa.
Yeah.
Nosiola.
I think it's quite special.
It's very distinctive. It's quite floral, but underneath it there's a tropical fruit that sits there, which is very fresh and elegant. There's a sort of smoky minerality to it.
We were in the shadows of the Dolomites, and I think you're being screamed granite from these imposing monoliths, and therefore minerality.
It must have some sort of, influence upon the
It
flavor.
gives the wine a very keen intensity. It's a very intense wine. I do like it very much.
Good.
Let's see if the red is every bit as good.
Let's see.
The Moray Teroldego.
I was calling it Teraldigo.
Teraldigo?
Teraldigo.
I'll have one to go.
Look at it. Nice colour.
Beautiful colour.
Yeah.
Finished in a clay urn.
Finished in a clay urn?
Yeah. She doesn't use wood. It's a very symbiotic and active relationship between the two.
You also don't get oak throwing a sort of veil over this very vibrant fruit. It's still very vibrant and alive and fresh. I'm becoming quite enthused with this. This is one of those wines that makes you very enthusiastic, which is a good thing.
We fell in love with the place.
We're converts.
It is nigh on impossible to choose between these two wines. There is a sense of place in both of these, and also somebody wanting to make the most out of that sense of place. To try and choose between the two of them, I love the red. I'm choosing the Fontana Santa.
I'm very glad.
We're so happy either way.
Because I think, to me, I'm glad one of Elisabetta's wine is in this box, because I think she truly deserves a place among them.
I couldn't be more happy that somebody who has that passion is sitting in this case. That's the most important thing. Brilliant wine.
Great case.
Still to come, Amelia is hands-on in the Barossa with some very old barrels.
Amazing. Just to have that piece of history there.
And our Welsh wizard has an adverse reaction to one of Spain's most classic wines.
The second sip, my body just said, that's enough.
Size is not everything.
Liar.
True.
In this case, it absolutely is not. These are intense, heady wines. Try a little of this. Look at that. This is Pedro Jimenez. It's a sort of sherry.
Oh, I like
sort
sherry.
of sherry. A sort of sherry. It's often a sherry that's not necessarily found on its own, although increasingly people do. I want to lick every last drop of this. It's a dark walnut.
Look at it.
Woody looking.
It almost looks green when you twirl it around at high speed.
You're absolutely right. There is a green hue just on the edge from very long aging in barrels.
It's called moss.
Now have a smell and a taste.
Yowzers, Chief.
You're not going to like it. Hey.
I'm already panicking. My palms are sweating.
Just be careful.
Don't lead him.
That is thick.
It's very, very thick.
However, I'm getting date and fig, and I like it.
I can't believe it. That's so sweet. That's even too sweet for me.
This is a Pedro Jimenez from Spain. It's an old style of wine used as a sweetening agent in sherry, but you can drink it on its own. We're going to go and try some wine from Australia, but this is an equally historic style. But I didn't go and find out about this. Actually, it was Amelia Singer.
Where would you go in the world if you wanted to try the oldest, most continuous line of fortified wine? You need to come here, the Seppeltsfield Winery, northeast of Adelaide in the beautiful Barossa Valley in Australia. Joseph Seppelt arrived here from Poland in 1849 and made his first vintage in the family dairy. From these humble beginnings, by the turn of the 20th century, Seppeltsfield had become Australia's largest winery. These days, Seppeltsfield is looked after by Nigel Thiel, and he's offered to show me around this unique winery. I must admit, Nigel, I'm a bit surprised because we were talking before about history and heritage, and yet what I see in front of me is something very contemporary and modern.
Yeah, this is a beautiful new contemporary setting, Amelia, for the grand dame of Barossa Winery, so we've certainly gone through a sympathetic redevelopment, and it's really added a contemporary space for some traditional wines that we offer.
Back in the late 19th century, when Seppeltsfield produced their first vintages, it was a fortified wine. Table wines weren't exported in large amounts to Europe until the 1980s. Seppeltsfield now produces table and sweet wines, Tawny, their version of port, and Apera, or sherry. But the company's devotion to its history is most evident in their incredible Tawny cellar.
So here we are, Amelia. This is our centennial cellar.
Wow. This room contains a barrel from every year dating back to 1878.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Just
that's
to have that piece of history there.
But this collection is more than barrels in a room. There isn't a person alive who couldn't go back through this liquid history book and taste wine from a year that really means something to them.
And actually, we've just come to my birth year.
86?
Yes.
A very youthful vintage. There's no dust on the barrel yet. Would you like to try something like that?
I would love to try something like that.
Maybe just for a little bit of contrast, we might try something a little younger.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, when did you turn 21?
7 years ago.
Yeah, so 2007. Would you like to try that?
Can I?
Yeah. Where did you celebrate your 21st?
Back in England.
Yeah.
It's actually my parents' 25th wedding anniversary as well, so it's a particularly special
What
year.
a momentous
Very
vintage for the
momentous
family.
year.
Little did I know, Nigel was leading me towards these particular vintages because he'd prepared a little surprise for me.
Oh my gosh! Oh no!
I'd rather hoped that photo, like my tiara, had been lost in the mists of time. But is Nigel as good at looking after old tawnies as he is digging up old photos?
And you can smell kind of freshness, the purity there, fruit.
And all of that fruit was picked here at Seppeltsfield, the year that you were celebrating that milestone. But this is the best barrel selected from that year.
Fantastic.
Did you start school?
Primary school, I started at the age of 4. Yes.
So Nigel finds the 1991 barrel, the next tasting on my trip down memory lane. Relating this drink to events throughout my life story is the most beautifully personal way to understand how this tawny changes in taste and complexity with time. Well, I was excited about my first day of school, but I can guarantee I'm definitely more excited about this.
Speaking of exciting, have a look up there.
The boater hat, luckily not the pigtails.
What a shot, that's great.
Oh my goodness. And actually, seeing this now, there is a kind of straw-like... I can still see the ribbons my mother used to put in, but...
And what do you think of that wine?
Oh. Wow. No, it's bright, you can feel the alcohol a little bit more, like it's just like, that's like more resinous.
More spiritus.
Warming, it's more spiritus. So after the 2007 and 1991, it was time to taste the wine from the year I was born, 1986. There's me in my little pink jumpsuit. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Smiling away. Wow. The complexity on that. Gone is the youthful, impetuous, passionate. The alcohol, there's still like a little tinge.
Sure.
But it's all kind of settling down and then mirroring itself into...
Yes. Yeah, it's a great time for tawny.
I've done hundreds of tastings in my career, but today with Nigel will stay with me long after many other tastings have merged into one.
In 1982.
Oh my gosh, the year of my parents' marriage. Wine can be a liquid time machine.
So 1956, Amelia.
It's my grandma, Nancy. This definitely has the gravitas and the elegance. The people who make it create it, knowing the wine may outlive them and be drunk and loved by people who aren't even a twinkle in an eye. We're going to have 1898.
Serious, yes.
Oh, great-grandma Pauline. For me, being able to drink these wines, made years, decades, and even centuries before I was born, is a very powerful reminder that we are all here because of the people that went before us.
I was a little bit jealous of Amelia going to that. That cellar looked extraordinary, to be able to just go along and go, I'll have the 73. Bosh, take a little piece out of that and have a glass. Amazing. Are you a little bit jealous?
Have you ever had a wine that takes you back to a time and a place? People talk about Proustian wines, like in La Recherche du Temps Perdu.
Buckfast. Takes you back to a time. But this is a Muscat and a much finer wine than this, is it?
This is a Muscat. This is not from Seppeltsfield. This is from Victoria, actually. This is
delicious, by the way.
Does she mind
us drinking her wine?
No, she doesn't mind at all. Positively encouraged us to do
it. Wish me luck.
Do you get the the perfume of the Muscat grapes?
Fumy, perfect. That's delicious. Orange.
It's very orangey.
Very, but it's dry, much drier. This, I mean...
The Pedro Jimenez is too much for you, isn't it?
It's just way too much. Just for me. I mean, there might be people out there who, you know, have never had sugar before, but this is...
It's like a rusty orange, that.
Yeah, really nice.
Who did take the first vines to Australia?
There's a guy called James Busby who's certainly credited with an awful lot of the plantings.
How many crimes did he commit?
Well, he wanted to go.
Crimes against wine?
His wines. That's why you sometimes find really ancient vine rootstocks out there and old varieties. This, on vanilla ice cream, Pedro Jimenez, is a dream.
Ah. You kept that one from us, didn't you?
That's a really
Drop
good
that
idea.
little nugget.
Some sort of sponge.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Hello.
It's worth buying this just to say his name.
We have all the information about Pedro Jimenez from Spain and about Muscats and Tawnies from Australia on our website.
Well said. But the beauty of it is you don't have to go as far afield as Australia to enjoy great wines. Just join us again on The Wine Show.
Well, thank you very much for another brilliant show, guys. And if you want to see any more about anything, don't watch this.
Help him, gallery! Sit there laughing. Help him!